Hi everyone. Welcome to today's session. Today I am excited to talk to you about something that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is how trauma shows up in small business. And I am excited to talk about this because I have probably had all the different ways that it shows up at some point in my life at some degree, and I have worked through all of it to some degree. So I'm speaking from experience and with love to you because I've been there and I know what you're going through. So first, we need to understand that our trauma response is a very powerful, life-saving defense mechanism. It is our core, instinctual, and subconscious part of ourselves that keeps us safe. So for our critter brain, that means status quo or no change. But of course, in business, status quo and no change means no growth, or maybe not even being able to launch at all. Because as business owners, we have to embrace that change. We have to embrace our constant change and face our fears sometimes on a daily basis. So when we do that, sometimes it hits the nerve of an old trauma. In fact, it's often a surefire way to drop old trauma is to launch a business or try something new. And typically, it's something we think we've dealt with. Usually we've been to therapy or we've had something and we're like, oh, that was no big deal and I've dealt with it. I've moved on. Once you start to really, step out of your comfort zone into business, that's when it really comes up. So, and sometimes maybe we don't even realize we've been through the trauma because we buried it so deep, or it happened when we were young and it just doesn't make sense to be a trauma, but it's there, and it really comes out when you're trying to be big, when you're trying to really shine. There's part of us that pulls back, and it's there to keep us safe. Understand that at the time that trauma happened, we developed some defense mechanisms to keep us safe, whether it was to not remember or to make sure it didn't happen, but really that's what it's about. So to move forward, we have to slowly ease that defense mechanism, that part of ourselves, that core of ourselves that is trying so hard to keep us safe by doing things that just make no sense on the surface. So let's go over some ways that our old trauma can rear its head in our business. But here are some of the most common. There's so many ways, but these are the most common. Self-sabotage. That is the big umbrella under which most of these other things fall, but we see this all the time. This is where we get in our way, our own way of, or we take actions or inactions that just don't make sense and blow things up for us, or just make them not succeed. Another one is a big one, is money blocks. This is where we undervalue ourselves, where we fail an opportunity. I fail to take an opportunity or miss signals that there's an opportunity for money. This is also giving stuff away or giving lots of discounts. So money blocks is one of the ways we respond to trauma, and that's because we need to do a little work on our self-worth. We may not feel worthy because of whatever we've done. We haven't worked through it all the way. And right up there with money blocks, and this is its twin, is imposter syndrome. This is where the part of you that thinks that you don't have quite enough of whatever it is you think you need to really put yourself out there as the expert, that you don't have quite enough skill or training or money or success or whatever it is, and that's often, and then you've got this underlying worry that you're going to be found out, somebody's going to know, somebody's going to find out that I'm not the expert that I say I am, and that's not true. There's always going to be people that need your expertise. So that goes right up there with money blocks, because when you have imposter syndrome, you are not going to ask for the money because you don't feel you're worthy of that money. So imposter syndrome is a big one, and this next group is a big cluster that kind of goes together, and we'll work through it to see how that works together. Procrastination. How many procrastinate doing something? You feel like the time's not right. You have all these rationalizations and excuses why you're not doing it, but the bottom line is you're just not doing it. The other one is indecisiveness. So you can't make your decision on which direction, which path you want to go. So you're stuck. So the bottom line, all of these things keep you stuck. Workaholism is a big one. Well, let's go back to a different one. Let's go to perfectionism, because that is right there with procrastination, indecisiveness, and perfectionism all go together, because perfectionism seems like it's a great thing. Like, I've got a great eye for detail, but sometimes when you're working the details so much that you're never producing, you're still stuck. You're in the same stuck. You're working your craft. This is one that I really get on. Like, I feel like the product I've produced is not good enough. I got to keep working. And then when you keep working it, eventually it just never gets done. So once again, you're still stuck. And another one that I have done in the past, less so now, is workaholism. So you can get so excited about a project that you just bury yourself in the project. You love your work, you love your business, you are just all in all the time, 24/7. That's what a business owner needs. That's what you tell yourself. I need to be in 24/7. And you're ignoring the rest of your life. Now, that's okay if you're doing a launch, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sure. Short term, little bursts, that's okay. Long term workaholism eventually means that you are ignoring something that you don't want to see. And while you're focusing on your business, that other thing is going to blow up. It's eventually going to come up to the surface, and it's going to distract you from the progress you made in your business. You're going to have to turn all your attention to that, and then you've blown your business up again. So, and the last one, this one's one I still need to work on. This is people pleasing. This is, so many service providers do this. This is where you take customer service and helping your client beyond normal business boundaries. This is one where, you make yourself available 24/7. This is the one where you'll do anything to please a client and make sure that they're happy. You'll give their breaks. You'll do all of it. And you won't say no to a client. No matter who they come to you, they need you, you don't say no. That is people pleasing, and that leads to burnout. It is not a healthy boundary to have with a business. And you have to feel your way through it. At first, you're going to want to take on everybody, but be very cognizant that healthy boundaries are important to a sustainable, healthy business. So you may have had these in one or more in varying degrees, and if you do, this is a sign that trauma might be coming through your business. This is your defense mechanisms around trauma are coming up. Now, we all have fears, we all have little traumas or big traumas that we're overcoming, and we can work through them, but it's important to keep in mind when these little things come up, which include self-sabotage, money blocks, procrastination, indecisiveness, perfectionism, workaholism, and people-pleasing. When you experience these repeatedly, then you probably want to say, maybe I need to do some work on my inner child, or work on my trauma, my past trauma. I need to do a little bit more work to overcome whatever this issue is. And you can do it on your own, or this is where I'm going to plug myself a little bit. If you want to do it faster with a greater result, give me a call. That's where I can help. That's what trauma coaching is about, is to take you through the process quickly in the right steps so that you can heal faster and more thoroughly, and it gives you the tools you need to heal going forward, because as you grow your business, most likely more little things are going to niggle their way to the top, and you're going to have to work through them again, which is just part of life. Anyway, thank you. And if I missed anything, if I missed a way that it might show up in business, please comment down below, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.